What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and we're looking at the Retro Cup today. The new season of Go Battle League has dropped. We've had some crazy move updates, lots of changes. Some hard meta stuff's been nerfed. There's been some changes to try and address some of the toughest meta that haven't been directly nerfed. There's been some old favourites that have been rebuffed. Lots of interesting stuff to dive into. And I know a lot of people are talking about Steelwing Skarmory, and they're talking about the nerf to Psychic on Medicham and whatever. I was like, no, you know what, screw that. Retro Cup, I'm going to talk about Golurk, specifically Shadow Golurk, because both of its fast moves, Astonish and Mud Slap, got a buff this season. And not many people think about running Mud Slap and Astonish. I actually almost made a video in the summer in Master League running Mud Slap on Excadrill rather than Mud Shot, which might sound insane, but it's incredible the amount of damage that thing puts out and the work it can put in. So having Mud Slap buffed is actually really interesting, I think. It's going to create some niche play around a few Pokemon. I don't think any top meta is going to be using it, but it's nice for some counter meta as well. Now, don't get me wrong, Golurk is spicy. It's not the most highly rated, highly ranked Pokemon to use in this meta, but I think it's strong. I think that it's actually worth using. Like, I'm unironically using it at the minute because I'm enjoying it. I think it's got good play, and not just for like the meme or because it's you know, just something spicy to play something interesting. I think it's strong in this cup. There's a lot of poison types and there's electric types, which Golurk's going to be doing super high damage against with that. Like, Golurk's attack weighted as it is. Mud Slap is an attack weighted move, and we're Shadow, so the Mud Slap is really, really oppressive. If you've got shields to spare, you can Mud Slap down Lantern. You can Mud Slap down Clodsire, Nidoqueen. It's very, very interesting, and you're at least single resisting, if not double resisting, like everything that Vigoroth's going to throw at you, because now they're going to be running Rock Slide instead of that Bulldoze, which means you can completely wall off Vigoroth with this thing if someone safe swaps into it. Speaking of Vigoroth, we are also running Vigoroth on this team with Body Slam and Rock Slide, so we are going to get a chance to have a look at that as well and how it's going to affect some of Vigoroth's matchups. And honestly, Vigoroth was good before, it's even better with Rock Slide, especially in this cup. I'm not super sure about the Open Great League. I haven't really played much of it. I've stuck to Retro Cup for the most part in this first week, so I haven't really got a feel for the meta, what people are using, what people are running. But with Skarmory on the rise and the shift in the meta, I think Rock Slide is only going to help Vigoroth be even stronger going forward there as well. Quick side note, if my voice sounds a little off, I am in the midst of changing over my setup for making videos. So I'm currently without a microphone for making these voiceover recordings. So I'm just working on my phone's normal microphone. And if you've ever tried to use, even on high-end smartphones, if you're using your phone's microphone, you're not going to come out sounding super crystal clear. So apologies for that. I hope it's not too grating for you guys. To round out this team and to add a bit of bulk, because for all the praises I'm singing of Golurk right now, it is squishy. Like, it's squishy when it's not Shadow, and when it's Shadow, it's even worse. So you really don't want to be stuck in against something that's hitting you for super effective fast move damage. It is going to absolutely ruin your day. But to add some bulk and some versatility to the team as well, we're bringing Altaria on the lead. I know the dragon of choice right now in the Retro Cup seems to be Arctibax, which I'm not going to bother building just yet. I don't have one with half-decent IVs. I might consider it later on down the line, but also Dragonair would work fine. Arctibax does work fine. I've seen people running Dragonite as well, but honestly, I wanted to have a bit less shield pressure. So personally, for this lineup, I wouldn't recommend Dragonite, because then everything on your team's kind of demanding shields except Vigoroth, whereas I like to save them for Golurk, really for most cases, most matchups, because that Mud Slap fast move down ability is very, very nice when you've got shields to back you up. So you might be looking at this team and thinking, but you're double weak to ice. Altaria really doesn't want to see ice types, and neither does Golurk because it's ground type. And yeah, we are, honestly, we are double weak to ice, but we can win ice type leads. I've won quite a few with this team. I've even won against a Abomasnow leads, which because oftentimes if I run into an ice type lead, if it's something like Dewgong or Abomasnow, or even Frostlass, I'll swap into Golurk as a safe swap. Rather than safe swapping Vigoroth, which is normally our safe swap, Golurk throws people off, to be honest. They're not expecting it, and a lot of people just swap. They think, oh, Ice-type Altaria, they swapped, I need to swap. And you'll get into a matchup where you can pivot, you can work around, you can get shield advantage, which oftentimes is all that Altaria needs, especially against something like a Bomber Snow, where you're going to be able to get a Sky Attack built up and then threaten them later on in the game. In fact, you can see in this matchup right here, we had a Bomber Snow, lead. We swapped into Golurk, and they stopped in with the Bomber Snow, so kind of worst case scenario, because then they pivoted away once we brought in Vigoroth, and we're still going to win this match by the skin of his teeth, but we did win, which you would think it's an instant loss, and you just got to play those games out and give it a go, because it's surprising. A lot of people do swap out on your Golurk swap from an Ice type into something that's just not going to do as well, and you can surprise them with how good Golurk's performance is now at this point in this cup. Also, I completely forgot to mention, I did hit Legend rank last season. Right towards the end, it was in the Catch Cup, actually. I got close in the Ultra League week, just before the end of the season, and dropped like 200 points at the last minute. So I was like, I'm not going to make the climb. I was at 2800 elo. I'd not built anything interesting this season for Catch Cup, and then I was like, you know what? I've got Golurk, because I went to Barcelona for one day and picked up some of the Skiddos, and I had a decent PvP IV Skiddo, so I evolved it to Golurk. So I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. And, hey, see what I did there? And it actually got me to Legend rank, which is kind of crazy, because everyone said that thing was going to be, well, it was originally supposed to have Rock Slide, and people said this is going to break the Great League meta, it's going to be amazing. And then they took Rock Slide away from it, and people were like, oh, it's useless now, it's useless. And it's not, by any measure. It's got Vine Whip and Leaf Blade. That's a disgusting combo for grass damage. And it's got Brick Break, which, yes, is a trash move. But you know what's everywhere in the Great League? Alolan Sandslash. It's double weak to fighting. Brick Break still ruins Alolan Sandslash's day. So it's a pretty strong Pokemon there. Again, it's not meta-defined. It's not the strongest thing out there. But again, it's surprising. It surprises opponents. They don't know what to do with it. And oftentimes that just gives you the edge in matchups, is when they're not quite sure what to expect and you know what it can do and you can play around people. So if you're interested in seeing that, I do have some battles recorded that I wanted to make a video with, and like I said, I've just really been struggling with making content and the motivation to get on and do it for the last couple of months. So I do have the battles recorded. If you guys are interested in seeing Go, get me to Legend rank at the end of last season, you have to let me know, and I can chuck a short video together just showing some of those battles. Obviously, the Great League meta shifted a little bit, but I don't think it's specifically shifted really away or towards Golurk's favour. I think it's pretty much does what it did before. Skarmory is obviously not going to be very nice for it if you're running into a lot of Skarmories. But if you want to see it, like I said, let me know, and I'll chuck a short one together for you guys to check it out. Now, I have recorded quite a lot of battles with this team, so it might be quite a long video, but I've got a wide variety of matchups that we've battled using this team. Don't win them all. Some matchups are really punishing and almost impossible to win with this lineup, same as any team. But we do deal with a lot of the more common, like hard meta lines, including like Triple Dragon and stuff like that. So if you've got questions about a particular lead or a particular matchup to try and play out, you can ask me down below, or it might be somewhere in this video as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into talking about some matchups and choices we're making and how to run this team. Now, this team doesn't have a hard answer for everything, but I can give you some guidance on how to give yourself the best shot in different scenarios. So, Medicham, pretty good lead for Altaria. You know, you can eat an Ice Punch very comfortably. It's not going to threaten you, and they're going to have to be shielding up the Sky Attacks or the Moon Blast, whatever you're throwing at them, because it's going to do big damage to them. You know, it's super effective. It's going to ruin their day. So they're probably going to get a shield here, which we do. And now we're going to choose to let this go. Sounds insane, but we're going to take the shield advantage. We're going to Mud Slap down with Golurk. We're going to have to give that shield back because they will get to an Ice Punch before we take them down. That's fine. This much energy on Golurk is quite useful for most situations. Not many things are resisting Ghost and Fighting in this cup. So, Altaria comes in, double resisting the Mud Slaps. So it's worth throwing a Shadow Punch, dip into Vigoroth, and get towards a Rock Slide to really get them low on health. They're going to choose to throw. That's fine. We're probably going to shield this up. Yeah, we don't want to get too low on Vigoroth right away because we do need this thing healthy to put some work in on this Altaria. So get Rock Slide off, get some pretty low. We could probably counter down here rather than throw this Body Slam, but we're going to choose to throw it. We get the shield out of him, which is very nice. Can we counter down? We do. They don't get a Sky Attack off. I don't know if that was a misplay by the opponent, if they just misjudged that they were going to get punched down before they could get another Sky Attack off. Either way, Swampert in the back. Sounds kind of scary, right? but we're so close to another Shadow Punch on Golurk. So with that Body Slam, we're going to get one Mud Slap, get the Shadow Punch off, and we're going to take the win. GG's. All thanks to getting that energy on the Medicham in that first matchup. And Vigoroth being pretty scary to deal with as well, so they're staying with Altaria against it, of course. Alright, next matchup, and we got some serious spice going on here with Swampert on the lead. I don't really even know what this thing can have as charge moves. Because they got to it so fast, I'm expecting something weak. Psychic Fangs, that's fine. Altaria's pretty bulky, we can take that. Hypno swaps in, so we've got double Psychic, which, you know, you might be like, oh yeah, we got a Ghost type, fantastic, but we're not doing Ghost fast move damage. If we had the new Astonish on Golurk, we'd be absolutely laughing in this matchup, but Golurk's pretty quick at getting to those Shadow Punches now, so we're going to get shield out of the Hypno, and we're going to shield this up. We're going to tempt them to either throw another move or see what they want to do. They're going to throw again. That's fine. We're probably going to let this go now. No, shield up. Okay, that's, you know what, past me, you know what you're doing more than current me does. Swoolbat comes back in. We got Shadow Punches. You're going to have to shield up Swoolbat, otherwise these are going to ruin your day. They think they can fast move us down, but the new Mudslap energy generation is pretty decent, so we're going to get another Shadow Punch, take them out, and now we've got a full health Vigoroth, a moderate health Altaria to deal with this Crocolaw in the back, which this is a nice and spicy team, to be fair. Hypno seeing some love again in the Great League, we love to see it. Swoolbat, nice and spicy, and then Crocolaw rather than the Skeledirge. So, but either way, it's not going to help him. Rock Slide, bang, get him out of there. GG's. And of course, GG's to all trainers that I'm battling. Even if I don't show you videos in your matches in the video, doesn't mean it's not a GG or anything like that. It's just some matchups get put in, some don't. I don't record all my battles because phone memory is a pretty severe limiting issue on screen recording, like hours and hours of battles at a time. But, by the by, Machamp lead, they swap out into Dubwool, and we're just going to stop in with Altaria here, at least for a little bit, because Golurk is fantastic against Machamp. Again, you're resisting the counter, the cross chop, the rock slide. So we're not too stressed about maintaining switch alignment and swapping Altaria out. They got Swampert in the back, so really this whole team isn't looking too hot at dealing with Altaria, to be honest. It's quite oppressive for them. We're going to eat this Hydro Cannon, no stress, get another Sky Attack off. This trainer is kind of really on the back foot in this matchup. We've got shield advantage. Swampert's got to throw again to take us out. So we're probably going to let this go down, bring in Vigoroth, and just go for the counter down. Eat a move if they throw it, which they are. That's fine. We're just going to save shields for Golurk and just Mudslap down this Machamp because there's not much they can do. The counters aren't going to add up for them at all. We're going to shield this up for safe measure. Probably can't be a payback. No, we're gonna no shield it. We're going to play Billy Big Bollocks. GG's to the opponent all the same. We're going to take that win straight on into the next matchup. And we got a real nightmare scenario. Swap Golurk, see what they do. Opponent thinks, right, got to get out, save the ice for Altaria, bring in a Swampert. And you think, well, Swampert's bad news for Golurk as well. Yeah, it is. But look at this Mudslap damage. And we're getting these spammy Shadow Punches off. We're going to shield this up because we can get another Shadow Punch off before they get to another Hydro Cannon, which means the opponent now has to go down 2 shields to maintain switch. Now we let this go, I believe. No, we're shielding up. We can make it. Yeah, we can. We can just farm down. Of course, because Golurk is disgusting with that Mudslap damage. What's coming into meters? An Emolga? Is that an Emolga throwing the Thundersharks? It is, which, again, they got to throw, take us out. But now we've got Vigoroth left for the Abomasnow. This game is already done and dusted. We got the alignment that we wanted. And just think about that. Our ground type, Golurk, managing to flip switch advantage against a Shadow Swampert counter swap. That's kind of nuts, right? And just shows that some teams just aren't prepared sometimes for things like that, especially when you think ground types. Most ground types these days in Go Battle League, you think spamminess, you think Whiscash spamming Mud Bomb, you think about Galarian Stunfisk spamming Rock Slide, you think about Swampert spamming Hydro Cannons and Surfs. But having that mix of decent energy generation and high damage output is so useful and quite unique, and a lot of people just don't have a good answer for it. Onwards into the next matchup, we've got a Pelipper lead. Great for Altaria. You just don't want to eat a Hurricane, but you can survive it. They swap into Aurorus. Vigoroth's here to absolutely ruin Aurorus's day. I don't think you have to shield this no matter what, but we're going to shield up the Meteor Beam anyway, just to keep Vigoroth nice and healthy, because we know Vigoroth can do a lot of work with that energy it's going to come out of this with. Because Pelipper's going to come in, we're just going to throw a Rock Slide. It's going to do big damage. They let it through. We're going to throw the Body Slam straight away so they don't throw a Weather Ball. If they want to throw any energy at this Vigoroth, they're going to have to shield for it. We could have just thrown double Body Slam at Pelipper, really, but better to throw the Rock Slide, I think, and definitely get that damage in. So, opponent's got a shield advantage. All they've got left is a Clodsire, and I think they just quit, to be honest. I think they probably just top lefted, probably when they ate the Rock Slide, to be honest, on Pelipper. They might have been hoping for a Body Slam, I don't know. But it's going to fast move down with Golurk. There was nothing they could do in that matchup anyway. Once we had, once they brought Aurorus in and we brought Vigoroth in, the match was pretty much decided there. Hypno lead, right? I shield up in this matchup in case it's an Ice Punch, and it's like, well, Ice Punch isn't going to one-shot. It's like taking an Ice Punch from a Medicham, you know. It's not going to ruin your day, but also I guess the confusions could then be at risk of farming you down, but I guess that'd be fine because we could get energy advantage on Vigoroth and Golurk. We end up shielding up a Fire Punch, which is a bit iffy for us. We're going to let the second move go through. It's a Shadow Ball, still not quite going to take us out, so we can still force Switch advantage or Shield advantage here, whichever one the opponent wants to go for. They choose to let it go, bring in a Bomber Snow, and we swap out aggressively into Vigoroth. This is a mistake, you know, like, we really should have just let Altaria get farmed down with the extra Powder Snow, then brought Vigoroth in, and then had Golurk lined up with the Toxapex, which we can do okay in that matchup. Yeah, they've got Brine, but it doesn't one-shot us, so we'd have been looking pretty cushy. Now it's a bit riskier. So what we're going to do here is we're going to build up extra energy, and we're not going to throw. And you notice we had a ton of energy and we didn't throw. This is so they throw now, because they've used their shields, right? We want to farm down entirely with Golurk and throw Dynamic Punch at a Bomber Snow, because we realised we'd fucked up swapping Vigoroth in aggressively, so we needed the energy advantage on Golurk so we can do this, get the Dynamic Punch, and this is going to absolutely bang, get out of there. It's not even a Shadow or Bomber Snow, and it still gets one shot. Absolutely eat shit, and we're going to take the win. GG's. So even though we kind of threw that game away almost, we managed to bring it back around thanks to that Dynamic Punch, which is why I recommend Dynamic Punch on your Golurk if you are choosing to run it. It's also got access to Earth Power and Poltergeist, as well as Shadow Punch and Dynamic Punch, but I think Shadow Punch and Dynamic Punch are the two moves you really want to go for. Right, we got Pidgeot lead. We, I believe, shielded up a Feather Dance, and that's not really good for us. We let the second one through, it's a Brave Bird, so really going badly for us. We're just going to farm down entirely, come out of this with some energy, and probably dip. No, we're going to stay in. Okay, Talonflame. We're probably going to lose this match. Just being down a shield against the new Talonflame that has Incinerate buffed through the roof. It's gone from 15 damage per Incinerate to 20. Look at how much damage each Incinerate does. It's disgusting. Like, so we're pretty much bringing Golurk just to eat some energy, and then we're bringing in Vigoroth, and we got a shield up. There's just not much we can do here. They've still got their shields. We can't force our way through them. They can just shield up and use Fly and just obliterate us here. Doesn't really matter what they got in the back. There's no stay to this where we come out in a winning position. I guess the match was decided when we shielded up a Feather Dance. That pretty much game 7 match. If we'd have not shielded that up and then maybe shielded the Brave Bird so Altaria was healthier, maybe would have been looking good, but GG's to the opponent. We just misplayed it, really. Altaria mirror match. Okay, we're just going to throw the Sky Attack as soon as we get there. We lose CMP tie. We're going to let this go through. The opponent might choose to shield up if we let it through, because that means they can farm us down and guarantee having switch advantage, and that's all right. We're just going to go ahead, bring in Vigoroth to get quite a bit of energy in this situation. We're going to shield up the move that they throw, because it could be like Dragon Pulse, which hit us pretty damn hard. We're going to build up some extra energy and then throw Body Slam. So I don't think we can get away with the counter down there. They probably would have got to another Sky Attack. So just go ahead, throw the Body Slam, take them out. What's going to come in meters? Medicham. We swap into Golurk. They've got Skeledirge. And look at those Mud Slaps destroying them. And they got to shield this up or get wrecked. They choose to let it go down. So Skeledirge basically does, well, it does some fast move pressure to us. But now Golurk's going to be able to put the pressure on in this matchup. They're probably going to shield this Shadow Punch because it had hit Medicham pretty damn hard. And now, look at that Medicham's health. They've got to throw the Ice Punch as soon as, so we don't get to another Shadow Punch. But we're going to get to Body Slam. And Medicham's pretty low. We can just finish them off. This is going to give us the match. And even losing switch advantage in this situation, Golurk just being the right fast move oppressive typing to just melt that Skeledirge really comes in handy. GG's to the opponent. Right, Poliwrath lead. Poliwrath with Mudshot, we're looking good. Poliwrath with counter, it's a little bit scarier. We can take an Ice Punch still. It's not a Shadow, it's not going to hit us that hard. But we are going to choose to shield because really this is a weird matchup for Poliwrath to stay in. There's a good chance that they'd want to swap out Pivot, which means they might be weak to our Terrier in the back as well. So we just want to try and drag this matchup out a little bit, see what they want to do. Let the second one go through. It is going to get us pretty low, and they snipe us down with a Nidoqueen. But we've got the ground move, boy. We can just slap this Nidoqueen down, shield up the Earth Power, because Earth Power from a Shadow Nidoqueen would one-shot us. We are not that bulky. But now we've got energy. So yeah, we're down a shield. Well, we're down 2 shields. We can just throw a Shadow Punch at this Poliwrath. Give me the shield, or get out of there. They're probably going to give us the shield. Nope, they let it go. That's fine. What's in the back? A lower Marowak. They probably should have shielded the Poliwrath in this case, because those Mud Slaps, again, super effective. They've got to shield the Shadow Punchers, and they've put themselves down, well, we've put them into Rock Slide range, because that's another matchup that Vigoroth has dramatically had improved. No, Fire Blast, good lord. Vigoroth with 1 HP and a Dream, getting that Rock Slide off. Absolutely ruined, though. Watch out for Fire Blast on a lower Marowak. It does hit like a truck. I'd forgot that happened in that matchup. All right, next matchup, Hypno lead. And I know I Udinad before about shielding a punch from this thing, but it is worth shielding in case it's an Ice Punch, because with the confusions, it will take you out. The only time you can really afford to take an Ice Punch is when it's like Medicham or like Mudshot Poliwrath, so you know they're not going to be able to fast move you down afterwards. But we're going to just stop in here and double shield, I think. Yeah, just take out this Hypno entirely. They're going to say swap out into Lickitung, and we're just going to go ahead and throw some energy at this thing. We've got a feeling that they haven't got a good answer to our Terrier in the back, but it might be better than Lickitung is. So we take the Body Slam. Now we're going to bring in Vigoroth, because some of the work is done here. We can take a charge move, absolutely no worries from this thing, and we want to come out with a ton of energy just to dump into whatever comes into meters afterwards. We found down entirely, got a ton of energy here, nearly 3 Body Slams. Hypno comes in, throw 1 Body Slam, they're going to shield up, they don't, they let it go. What comes in the back? Skeledirge, right. Rock Slide spam time, it is, but this is still a scary situation, because those buffed Incinerates are really, really shredding at us now. We're going to end up doing a bit of a mistake here, if I remember right. We swap into our Terrier to try and catch some damage to tempt them to throw, and they don't throw, they try and farm us down. We get to a Sky Attack, maybe good, not quite enough damage, and we don't have a Rock Slide loaded on Vigoroth. We've got a Body Slam. We're going to come in, throw it right away, and it's not quite going to KO, and now this thing's fully loaded with 1 HP and a Dream, and this is going to be a Shadow Ball, and it's going to absolutely annihilate us. One shot, bang! We're out of there. GG's. We probably should have stopped him with Vigoroth and made them throw a move at Vigoroth from the pressure, and then maybe we'd have got away with a couple of Mud Slaps on Golurk just to finish them off with the excess damage. Who knows? But either way, it didn't go in our favour. Here we've got an Arboliver lead, kind of spicy. Did get access to Trailblaze this season. I think it did. I think it got a move buff. And they swap out into Pidgeot with Air Slash rather than Wing Attack or Gust. You definitely want Wing Attack or Gust on Pidgeot if you're running it in Go Battle League at the minute. We're going to get to a move on Vigoroth, take them out, and now we've got a Jellicent coming into meters with Bubble rather than Hex. Bubble did get a buff this season, 1 extra damage it got back, since it got nerfed quite a long time ago, Bubble, to help control a Azumarill back when that was like the most dominant thing in Great League. So go ahead, throw some Rock Slides at this thing, get it relatively low, and I think we're going to try and catch here. We're hoping this is a Surf. If it's an Ice Beam, there's going to be an egg on our face. It is an Ice Beam, so we shield last minute, we chicken out, that's fine, and the opponent surrenders, so I guess they didn't have a good answer for our Terrier or Golurk in the back, and they just surrender there. GG's. Another Pidgeot lead. Now, you do want to keep Golurk away from this thing. Pidgeot being normal and flying means it's double resisting like everything. Yeah, the Dynamic Punch is neutral, and I have landed a Dynamic Punch on Pidgeot in this team, but it's not going to one-shot him, you know? Like, it's going to do big damage, but you just want to keep Golurk away from it. That thing's so tough to handle. The Pidgeot dips without throwing, which is kind of scary because normally they throw and you got to guess whether it's a Brave Bird or a Feather Dance, but they just got a ton of energy and left with it. So not really sure what they're going to do with that. Bring in Jellicent. We're going to bring in Vigoroth since we're resisting the moves and whatnot. Pidgeot comes back in. We're going to let this go. If it's Feather Dance, we survive. If it's Brave Bird, we don't. Feather Dance, we survive it. We're going to get a Rock Slide off. Give us a shield, or at least take moderate damage since we're double debuffed. They do give us a shield. That's kind of nice. Bring in Altaria. Probably worth shielding this. Could be a Brave Bird. It's not. It's a Feather Dance. That's kind of iffy. They swap out into Frostlass. This is not what we like to see. Now, we are taking super effective Powder Snows. The Avalanche is going to ruin his day. But look at the Mud Slaps. They're ruining Frostlass. We're outpacing them on damage, just slightly, I think, because we snuck a Mud Slap in. But now, damage is done. We can take this Avalanche. We're going to get wrecked. Altaria farms them down. We've got a charge move left to throw at the Pidgeot. We're going to go for Moonblast because it's slightly higher damage when we get one charge move off. Does it take him out? It does. GG's. Scooching straight on to the next game. Altaria in the lead against Altaria. Mirror match. Okay, once again, we're going to stay in this matchup and just throw the Sky Attack as soon as we get there. This does mean that they can charge more energy and go for like a Moonblast and go for switch advantage. We don't mind that. If it is Moonblast and it takes us out, we accept it. It's fine, it's the Moonblast. Because now we farm down with Vigoroth, we get quite a bit of energy. And this energy is hard to deal with for most opponents. There's a Machamp comes in, but we've got nearly 2 Body Slams here. So we're going to go ahead, throw the first one. Does a big chunk of damage. We swap out into Golurk. They swap into Lickitung. This is awful for us. Straight for the Dynamic Punch. This might be ballsy. Do they know we've got Dynamic Punch? Let's see. They guess it's something nasty. They shield up. That's fine. Okay, we've still got 2 shields. We're going to throw a Shadow Punch. If so, that means if we'd have baited with Shadow Punch, we'd have got to a Dynamic Punch here and actually taken them out, which is kind of fun. We CMP tie somehow. Takes us out. That's fine. We're going to save these 2 shields. All we need to come out of this matchup with is enough energy to get Body Slams off on that Machamp. Now, they have no shields, so we shield this up. The Machamp does not have a Cross Chop stored, so we should just be able to go double Body Slam. They try and do an aggressive play to get that extra countering that they need. They catch a Body Slam, they eat shit. It's going to be a GG. We Body Slam the Lickitung, get them out of there, and it's a good game. More often than not, I do recommend with this team is not being afraid to give up switch advantage and taking energy advantage on Vigoroth or Golurk, because they can do so much with that energy. Quagsire lead, of course we have to worry about Stone Edge, but it's not going to one-shot us. We're going to shield, we are, because they wouldn't stay in if they didn't have Stone Edge to throw at us. So we're going to choose to drop a shield early on. Throw a Sky Attack. They don't have to shield this, and they're not going to. They're going to choose to take shield advantage in this situation. We can let a Stone Edge through, it's not going to take us out. Nice big chunk of damage though. We can Dragon Breath down and we've got a Sky Attack loaded for whatever follows it in. Now I don't know, I thought it was electric type, I didn't see what it exactly was. Oh no, it's an electric, it's a bloody Tyrantrum, absolute Spice Lord, bringing the Tyrantrum into this cup. Now, unfortunately for them, Tyrantrum is going to struggle with both Golurk and Vigoroth because the rock typing is weak to fighting from Vigoroth and it's weak to ground type from Golurk. So we just swap out aggressively, pull out a Goldra in the back, bringing some nice spice again in this cup, and we're just going to bring in Golurk here and start getting some energy. We are expecting them to get to a move because this thing has access to Muddy Water and Power Whip, which are quite quick to get to. Tyrantrum comes in, we're not sure how much energy they got, so we throw the Shadow Punch straight away. We take them out, and now we can just fast move down the Goldra, and also we start some health left on our Terrier as well, so fairly comfortable win, good game. It's always fun seeing people run some spicy picks. In these cups like Tyrantrum and Goldra, love it, love to see it, especially Goldra, because I think it's got more play than people give it credit for as well. Swampert lead, right, looking good. We don't really have to worry about this matchup, even if they've got Sludge Wave. It's not going to take us out, so we just let whatever they throw through. They're just throwing Hydro Cannon. Maybe they're just really weak to our Terrier in the back, and they're just like, throw some Hydro Cannons, get some chip damage off on this thing. We're just going to take it. We're not too stressed. Throw the Sky Attack. They're going to have to shield if they want to do any more damage to us, which they are going to give us, which starts raising some alarm bells. Like, what have they got in the back that really doesn't want to see Altaria? Doesn't matter. Don't need to shield this. Just keep on farming down. And they bring in Pelipper as an aggressive swap, which we're just going to throw a Sky Attack, get some chip damage. then swap to Vigoroth, so we only have to worry about landing a Body Slam rather than a Rock Slide, so we can preserve a little bit of energy. Eat a Weather Ball, that's completely fine. Throw one more counter, and then we can throw the Body Slam. They're going to shield it up. They're not. What they got in the back? We've got two. Well, we've got our shield advantage. They've got one. We've got two shields, and it's a double. So unless they've got payback, Golurk's pretty much got this in the bag because there's not much they can do against Golurk without it. Let Vigoroth go down, save two shields for Golurk, just on the off chance. Then we don't even have to worry about being baited. To be honest, we can just shield up anything they throw. Whereas if they had payback and we gave up an extra shield, maybe we'd be at risk of getting, maybe getting payback, who knows. We catch a Body Slam on Altaria for good measure. They try and catch on Swampert. They don't do very well with it. And we're just going to Dynamic Punch just to prove a point. Bang. Get them out of there. GG's. Okay, let's take a look at an interesting matchup here. Dragalge lead, which is pretty neutral in terms of the matchup with Altaria. We don't have to really worry about the Aqua Tail. We can just let it go. It's not going to really... It's going to do less than a single Dragon Tail is going to do. We're going to get to a Sky Attack. Are they going to shield it up? They probably are. Yeah, they're going to shield up. That's fine. We're not going to shield up this move as well. It's probably just another Aqua Tail. And honestly, we might still found them down first. It's going to be close. We mutually KO. That's fine. Okay, you know what? We've got shield advantage. Neither of us have switch advantage. And we bring in Vigoroth into a Medicham, and we swap into Golurk. That's fine. Well, it's not fine. We'd much rather have got Golurk just locked onto this Medicham. And throw an Ice Punch and dip into Pidgeot, so definitely would have been better lining up the other way around. But Dynamic Punch, see how hard this hits. Bang! Nice! Big, respectable chunk of damage there. And we're going to let this go. I think, no, shield up. Yeah, you know what? Shield up. Give me your shield, Pidgeot. Fear the Golurk. Let's see what they choose to do. Maybe they give us a shield here. They do. So, they're going to throw again. That's fine. Now we can farm the rest of this Pidgeot down with Vigoroth and Body Slam, spam that Medicham. Is it going to be enough to give us the win? This is pretty much comes down to whether or not this Medicham's got Dynamic Punch. They got Psychic and Ice Punch or Power Up Punch, we win. If they got Dynamic Punch, they're going to take us out. You see that? Look at this stutter for a split second, and it costs us that counter. We should have been throwing at the same time, and we'd have won CMP tie and won the game. And it's Dynamic Punch, takes us out. But that should have been our win, because it just lagged for a split second. I'm telling you, it's no wonder people get tilted at this game sometimes. Like, it winds you up, stuff like that. Especially, I mean, early on in the season, it doesn't really matter all that much. You know, there's plenty of time to grind out the wins and work your way up. But if you're, like, pushing for Legend and something like that costs you your win, that could make the difference. You know, when you're really in these try-hard, sweaty games and you got to really fight for every win that you get, that can really just put you off. Niantic really needs to kind of sort it out, to be honest. A little bit. I know Go Battle League's a lot more stable than it has been in the past, but it's still not really to the standard that it should be. Not going to harp on about that too long. I'm going to get off my soapbox. We had Deoxys leading this matchup, swapped into a Cradley. We can bring in Vigoroth and really put some work in. We're coming out with pretty much 100 energy. That Body Slam spam is coming for Deoxys. We're just going to throw again because they do have energy, I think, to throw at us if they want to. No, they dip straight out, don't they? So, but worth getting the Body Slams off quick. Anyway, throw this one. They're going to shield up. They're not. They're going to let themselves get super low. We're trying to snipe down with Golurk. We get a bit of a lag spike. They swap out into Clodsire. This isn't a good situation for them. We can just mud slap through this thing. Yes, the Earthquake's not going to be good for us. But if we shield up successfully, which we do, we can actually mud slap all the way down at this point. We want to tempt them to shield up though. Throw the Shadow Punch. They don't. Save the shield for Deoxys. It isn't going to help them. Psycho Boost is not going to KO us at this range. Gets us low. They have to throw another one. They can't. They just realise there isn't much point. We fast move them down. We take the win. GG. Right, got a couple more matchups left for you guys with this team. Pelipper lead, once again. Really good for us. This Pelipper, I believe, is going to stop in yet. And they're going to probably just go straight for the Hurricane. I don't... Like, some Pelippers go for the bait. And I don't think it's worth it. It's so punishing if an Altaria does not shield a Weather Ball. But we shield up the Hurricane. Fantastic. Now we're in a very, very strong position. We can actually choose to farm down entirely here. Even if this is a Hurricane, we can survive it. But they throw a Weather Ball. We actually CMP tie. A bit weird of a choice for us to throw in that moment. And weird for them to throw a Weather Ball in that moment. But it is what it is. Galvantula comes into meters. And we're going to stay in because we know we can get to this Sky Attack. Pressures them to shield because Galvantula is quite squishy. which they are going to do. And now we can just bring in Golurk. Unless they're running Energy Ball, we resist everything. Like, we resist Lunge, we resist Double Resist, Discharge. So Lunge does a big chunk of damage, though, for a resisted move. Let this go as well. It's probably another Lunge. It is. Swap out to Vigoroth to clear the debuff. We've still got a shield. We've got Energy on Golurk as well. And it's a Scrafty in the back. So pretty good that we actually kind of spent Golurk on the Garvantula. Scrafty doesn't do that well against Golurk because they've got to land Foul Play to do any meaningful damage. But also your Mud Slaps are adding up pretty severely against him. But either way, pretty comfortable win for us there. GG. All right, I think 2 more games. Altaria into Alolan Marowak. This is pretty good for us, especially when they're running Fire Spin, because, I mean, the Shadow Bone's going to hit us for decent damage, but we can survive it very comfortably, whereas these Dragon Breaths and Sky Attacks are really going to start feeling threatening pretty quick to this thing. So, go straight for it. They're going to shield up. Are they not? They're going to choose to shield. That's completely fine. If they shield up... No, sorry. If they throw here and it's Shadow Bone, we'll shield up. We'll have a bit of a fight for switch advantage. Swap into Golurk. Can we snipe them down? We can. Well, I don't know if that counts as sniping them down. I think they just thought they could probably get to a Bone Club that was a little bit closer than it could have been. Superior is going to come into meters. Dynamic Punch, they shield. That's a shame. We really should have just thrown the Shadow Punch, because we'd have got another one off there and got some nice chip damage, because Superior has access to Aerial Ace, which is a pretty versatile move. We can survive 1 though, but I'm pretty sure they're at 2 here, or very, very close to. They throw a Frenzy Plant. Not sure why. That's not a clever decision. Maybe the single move. Maybe it's a budget team. But Alolan Raichu in the back to catch the Sky Attack. Kind of scary. Bring in Vigoroth. Body Slam. Let's just take them straight out, because that thing's quite squishy. And Superior comes in. We should be able to handle this matchup. We can survive 1 Frenzy Plant. And we're going to get this bit of counter damage, get a Body Slam off. We should just win. It's going to be close. No, we've got health on Altaria. We can farm them down at this point. The game is done and dusted. Not worth shielding this. Just keep the shield for the Altaria just to guarantee the Dragon Breath through. And it's going to be a good game. Okay, now there's 2 games left in the video. Kind of misjudged the rest of the timeline. Right, Mantine. I would call Mantine a bit of a core breaker for this team, because with Wing Attack and Ice Beam, and then like Bubble Beam and stuff, it's pretty threatening to the whole team. It's double resisting the Mud Slaps, it's resisting the counter. It's, yeah, I call it a core breaker for sure, at least in essence, in how it functions. We're just going to stay in, do a bit of damage, end up eating an Ice Beam. We were hoping they might try and bait us at that point, but honestly, Mantine doesn't have to. And we're just going to bring in Vigoroth here, throw an Aerial Ace at us, right? That's fine. Get some extra energy while we can before we throw the Body Slam. And we're just hoping that Golurk and this extra energy on Vigoroth is going to be enough to carry us through the rest of this match. Vigoroth comes in. We're going to swap into Golurk. Do it. Throw at us. We can take it. Doesn't matter. That's nice to not have an excuse to shield. Frostlass comes in, and we're going to go straight for the Shadow Punch. If they don't shield, it's going to do big damage. If they do, that means we've got that shield advantage. We just get the next Shadow Punch, which really makes all the difference in this game now, because that takes out the Frostlass. And now we've got shield advantage. We've done some nice work on this Vigoroth. We might just be able to win. Depends if they're going to get to 2 Body Slams or not. It's not going to matter. We get them low enough. The counter goes through. We can shield, and they will lose when this move finishes. Yeah, GG's. All right, last matchup. I thought I had footage of the Triple Dragon team against us. I guess I wasn't recording in those matchups. It plays out how you'd expect them to keep Golurk away from either Dragonite or Altaria. You know, if they've got a Flying Dragon, just keep Golurk away from it. And other than that, you tend to do just fine against the Triple Dragon teams. It's very close. Sometimes they win, sometimes you win, you know, because that team's just so oppressive. Right, another Mantine in this last match. Again, like I said, it's a core breaker. It's awful. Ice Beam, right, pain in the teeth to deal with. We get baited with an Aerial Ace, which is even worse for us. Going to get the next Sky Attack off. We're going to get the second shield out of him. We are. So at least there's that. Now they have no shields left. We try and catch on Vigoroth. We fail to catch on Vigoroth. That's not looking good at all. The Mantine dips with a bit of energy, and they punish us with a Toxicroak. This is horrific for us. Maybe we should have just stayed in with the Altaria in that matchup, but we are going to get to the next Body Slam. We can take out the Toxicroak. Okay. Maybe there's a chance in this match. Maybe not, because really, we would have wanted Vigoroth against this Swampert, and we would have wanted Golurk against the Toxicroak, but we weren't going to get switch advantage anyway, so kind of just a tough situation no matter what. Not anything we can do. We're going to get one shot by a Hydro Cannon on Golurk. Goodbye. And now it's just Swampert and Altaria, and there's still the healthy Mantine left in the back. I think they could even still survive a Sky Attack, so there's really not a lot. No, they can't, but they had the energy. We couldn't wait any longer to throw against the Swampert. They were pretty much at the next Hydro Cannon, so not much we could do there. GG's. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this team. You got any questions, ask me down below. I'll try and get back to you. And yeah, let me know if there's anything spicy that you guys are trying out. Things that people aren't talking about as much that maybe got a tweak to their movesets, or maybe something that's just benefited from the changes to everything else. Let me know. And as always, I will catch you absolute legends next time.